Welcome back. You're still watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television. We move to Cameroon now, where the country expects its economy to rebound this year, with the growth rate coming close to pre-pandemic levels. The government sees output expanding 3.4% in 2021, compared to 0.7% last year. The Central African economy grew 3.7% in 2019. As part of its 2030 strategy, Cameroon is focused on the structural transformation of its economy towards industrialization, more integration, and growth that is more inclusive, sustainable, and green. The president, Paul Biya, has called for a 13% increase to proposed spending in the 2021 budget to $5.5 trillion, $10 billion, as his administration seeks to pay down debt and respond to COVID-19 in a bid to cut costs. And Cameroon also sold 685 million euros of 11-year securities last month to refinance more expensive debt. Now, how will all of this affect the individuals in Cameroon? How is it affecting businesses there? We have Mr. Albert joining us from Yaoundé now. He's a business entrepreneur there. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Falfel Consultants in Yaoundé, Mr. Albert Okolu. He shares his experience of how this is affecting him. Hello, Mr. Albert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you too.
Yeah, so the government says that output in the economy is expanding compared to last year. As a business person in Yaoundé, have you felt this expansion in your business?
Yes. The government of Cameroon has put some structures in place. Like every other African economy, it is powered by basically agriculture, and then the extractive sector, and then also the social service sector. So yes, Cameroon is doing a lot of reforms in the economy of the country, making a lot of laws, making sure that those laws are enforced, you know, and then being entrepreneur-oriented, giving entrepreneurs incentives. I'll give you an example. The Cameroon government has done its best to make sure it stabilizes the Cameroon CFA. And what does that mean? It means that if you buy something for, let's say, 1,000 CFA, for example, and you sell for 1,100 CFA, you are sure of going back to the market and buying same products at 1,000 CFA. It means, therefore, that you are maintaining your profit level. It's not like other African countries where you can buy something for 1,000 CFA, for example, and then you sell for 1,002, and then you go to the market again, and you're buying for like 1,500 or 2,000 CFA. So Cameroon has put a lot of reforms in place for people who truly want to do business. And it's affecting the ordinary people, and they are taking advantage of it because they are sure that they can go to sleep while their currency is stable. This is very, very important. So go ahead.
So there's a threat of the Delta variant now. Even Nigeria is feeling it, of COVID-19. How is that affecting businesses at this time?
Well, COVID-19 is the same all over the world. You know, I can say it's the same. It's the elite and then the very poor. The elite, majority of them, and some of the poor, they obey the rules of COVID-19, wearing masks, distance, social distancing, washing your hands and all that. But the ordinary people, for example, I take a miner, because I operate in the extractive industry. I take a miner, for example, and a miner can go deep to extract gold for maybe 20 feet, 30 feet, as the case may be, or precious stone or diamond or whatsoever. You don't expect him to put on mask. He will suffocate to death. So the ordinary people have resigned, some of them, not all of them, I don't speak for everybody. The majority of the people have resigned themselves to fate, and some still believe that COVID-19 is not an African disease, because some give you examples that they haven't seen since they've been shouting COVID-19. No members of their family have died, no friend of theirs have died, and so they believe that there's a lot of conspiracy theory. So it's between the rich and the very poor who resolve themselves to fate and say, whatever happened, well, let it happen, but first they're going to eat first, and that is the priority of their living.
But how receptive are they to the vaccine, and how available and accessible are vaccines in Cameroon?
Well, they are valuable, I tell you, but again, it depends on the people' interest in having the vaccine. Because there's a lot of stories around this vaccine and all that. They have a special one that is administered in America or Europe, and then they have another vaccine that they administer in Africa, and they write it clearly there that this vaccine should not be used in Europe and America. And so majority of the people are skeptical why there is a double standard in a vaccine that is supposed to to combat a single disease. So tradition and the belief of the people pays a lot of, gives the people a lot of what I call leverage, because they believe that if they're going to die, they'll die. But first they must walk. So this is the truth of the whole.
So obviously there's still a whole, there's need for a lot of education on COVID-19 and all that. But as a player in the extractive industry, how much of a threat is, you know, the Delta variant, how much of a threat is it to your business as a player in the extractive industry in Cameroon?
Well, I obey the rules. I follow the protocols and all the things they say we should do and all that. But I can't speak for other people because other people have their opinions and they have their mind made up. There are some that are religious about it. There are some that are fanatically religious about it. And there are others too that want to work with you. But I know that those guys that are working with me, some of them reserve their faith to God, whatever they conceive Him to be in their heart. And they just want to work and be able to put food on the table of their family. This is where they are interested in.
So what's the government doing in regulating and enforcing, you know, the restrictions and, you know, the non-medical measures of dealing with COVID-19?
You tell me something. You're talking about government enforcing. If government enforces, is it going to put food on the table of the people or just to lock the people up and tell them, oh, there is coronavirus and then there is no palliative for that? So if the government is coming up with, say, okay, stay in the house, at least I'll give you food, I'll give you what, then the people can stay at home. You know something, the stomach don't give a damn about coronavirus. And when it comes to the stomach don't respect nobody, no policy, no government, nothing. People must eat. So it's not about government enforcing nothing. If government is going to enforce whatever it's going to enforce, then it must give people options. It must give people a palavity. It must give people reasons to obey the rules of coronavirus.
So from your perspective now, the government has more to do in providing palliative for people to, you know, stick to the rules of curbing the spread of COVID-19. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Albert Okolu, for sharing your thoughts with us today on...
Bonjour, mon frère. Bonjour, mon frère. Bonjour.
Bonjour.